He's bigger than life. He has something that's hard to describe.
Virtually the definition of positive attitude.
Always looking on the brighter side of things.
Welcome is a visionary. He sets his sights on something that he wants to get done, and he pushes until he gets that done.
Welcome has so much integrity and so much wisdom.
You know, he's honest. He's an honest guy.
Welcome is a friend, even if he hadn't met you yet.
Welcome has a way, a quality of making you feel like you're the only person in the room.
He has a way of inviting the conversation so that everyone feels like they have an opportunity to be heard.
What leaders do, they inspire others. They make people reach a destination that people didn't think possible.
Promotion. He understands the value of it.
Matter of fact, my father's career choice for me
When business manager and good friend Johnny Goyen left the paper, Welcome became the business manager for the Cougar. He and Jack Valenti, along with Johnny Goyen and Bill Sherrill and his brother Jack, would form a friendship and working relationship that would last a lifetime.
Our group, for example, that got together, the University of Houston group, right after we graduated, was a group of 5. And we eventually formed the Jamaica Corporation. But the 5 that got together were Jack Valenti, who went on to become the head of the Motion Picture Association, Johnny Goyen, who went on to be the longest-serving city councilman in the history of Houston, Texas, Jack Wilson, Welcome's brother, and myself. We all strong characters.
And it was where he would meet the first and longest love of his life, Joanne Guest.
He still tries to introduce her as his current wife after 60-something years, and I don't know that she sees the same humor in that he does.
When the Korean War broke out in 1950, Welcome received orders to basic training for active duty in the Navy. Initially serving as an enlisted man, then Senator Lyndon Johnson arranged for his commission as an ensign. Always a volunteer, Welcome ran into R.E. Bob Smith at a football game and volunteered himself and his friends to help Mrs. Smith with a fundraiser, and then promptly took over. The success of that fundraiser prompted Smith to hire Welcome as an assistant to serve in the mayor's civil defense office in Houston, which led to him ultimately working in a similar capacity for Dwight Eisenhower in Washington.
When I first met President Eisenhower, I remember so well from my office on the first floor, I could look out my window, and at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, I could see the President of the United States hitting golf balls. Well, I can't tell you what a satisfying feeling that gave you. that, by golly, if the President of the United States is out there hitting golf balls, the country must be in great shape. And we have nothing to worry about.
The stories are always right there that he can recall.
You got to get him to tell you about when they knocked the supports out from under the roof of the Astrodome. He said it came down like 12 feet and they thought it was going to collapse.
Welcome survived on bananas for a month. He was lost at sea for a week. He hit golf balls with the president. He's a lot like Forrest Gump. Every point in his life has something different, and it's all amazing.
Well, I first met John F. Kennedy when, believe it or not, he came to my hotel room. I had a suite at the Congressional Hotel, which is up near Capitol Hill. So we decided that we were going to have the New Mexico congressional delegation over for drinks. Well, Gossett got on the phone to the JFK headquarters and invited him. And sure enough, he showed up. So for about 30 minutes, I was introduced to the most charismatic man I have ever run across in my life. Then I met him again when he came to Houston to announce the Manned Spacecraft Center.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
And by the way, I put myself right behind him so all the television cameras would pick up me as well as JFK every time they ran a clip. Shameless self-aggrandizement has always been my policy. It's only been the recent years that I've been willing to admit that. And then the night before Kennedy was assassinated, he came to Houston for the Albert Thomas dinner. It was the first time I'd had the opportunity to meet Jackie. Lovely, lovely, lovely lady. And then when LBJ was in the White House, we had frequent occasions to be with him, and then afterward at the LBJ Ranch. I'll never forget one time, Bellini called me, and he's whispering, J. Edgar Hoover is in the Oval Office talking to the president. So I said, so? And Bellini says, whispering, welcome, they're talking about you. Talk about a heart attack. George Brown was a real character. One time he called me up to invite me to fly with him and a group over to the LBJ Ranch. Got on the plane, and on the plane was Gus Wortham and R.E. Bob Smith and George Brown and a number of leaders of Houston, along with this young black girl who nobody had ever met, named Barbara Jordan. And in the 45 minutes it took to fly to the LBJ Ranch, we were absolutely fascinated by everything that Barbara Jordan had to say.
When people have looked for new ways to solve their problems and to uphold the principles of this nation, many times they have turned to political parties. They have often turned to the Democratic Party.
Jack Valenti, who was a presidential assistant to LBJ, was my partner in developing Jamaica Beach in Galveston.
Our mentor was R.E. Bob Smith. And as we used to say, between the five of us and Mr. Smith, we were worth an average of $200 million. He had $1.2 billion, and we had 35 cents. Following Jamaica Beach, we went on to do the Tiki Island development, and that turned out to be a huge success at the end of the day.
Welcome and the group would spend 10 years developing Jamaica Beach, Tiki Island, Spanish Grant, Bermuda Beach, Sea Isle, Terramar Beach, and Treasure Island.
Welcome has an incredible way of communicating with people. He's funny, he's engaging, and he's effective.
He never ever tells a joke at someone else's expense.
I have heard him say, he's all hat and no horse.
If you hear me talking about getting lucky, that means I found my car in the parking lot.
Whenever there's a problem with the numbers, of figuring out what the numbers is, he says, you know, there's three kinds of accountants. There's ones that know and ones that don't.
Another one is happy hour for him is a nap.
And those type of welcome sayings make you take a step back and really just laugh at the situation before going ahead.
He really enjoys a week on the trail ride. He will still, even with a motorhome within 20 feet, he will still sleep by the fire in a sleeping bag at night.
His long and successful career as a developer and real estate executive continues. But the other great love of his life, besides wife Joanne, has been the University of Houston. In 2006, Governor Rick Perry appointed Welcome to the Board of Regents.
Well, I think the biggest part he played was serving on the board of the University of Houston, and they're becoming a Tier 1 school.
I went to Welcome and I said, Welcome, how would you feel about succeeding me as chairman of the Board of Regents? And he said, you know, I have felt like I have been sitting back here doing nothing, and I would really, really like to do that.
He is the biggest cougar that I know. I mean, Welcome Wilson loves the University of Houston.
There's not just one great thing going on at University of Houston, there's hundreds.
The University of Houston is Houston's university. It's very diverse, it's international, it's growing, it's everything that Houston is.
We at the University of Houston had been discussing and talking about our desire to become a Tier 1 institution for some time.
And one of the key steps in it, of course, was selecting a chancellor who could focus on it and execute. So Welcome has been critical to us achieving Tier 1 status. We would never even be on the road without him.
I came driven by his vision and his passion. He was sold on a phrase I said, Mr. Chairman, if you hire me, I have fire in my belly.
Well, that did it for me. She has fire in the belly. And that, in my view, is exactly what the University of Houston needed.
This university, being in this city, can become a Tier 1 university.
Without Welcome recognizing the importance of Tier 1 status and focusing all of our forces on achieving it, it never would have happened.
So Tier 1 basically means being nationally competitive, to become relevant to the city, to help the city, to make sure that our product, that's our students and our graduates and our research, is truly of the global and national standards leading the way.
UH is where it's at in large part because of Welcome. Welcome built the team that got it done.
I would say that making things happen is what Welcome wants to do every day.
Though his term as chairman of the Board of Regents expired, Chancellor Couture has appointed him to a number of other boards within the university. And in 2013, he was given an honorary doctorate from his beloved University of Houston. Through every phase of it, however, there has been one overriding priority.
His dedication to his family is uppermost in my mind in terms of a priority for him.
They are family people. They're a very close family and a large family.
The love of his life is the University of Houston and his family. Everything else is second to that.
People like Welcome Wilson, they're the secret sauce in any community. Without them, you have nothing.
Congratulations, Dad, for this Trailblazer Award from the American Advertising Federation.
Congratulations, Welcome.
Congratulations, Welcome.
Congratulations, Welcome.
Congratulations, old friend, Welcome.
Congratulations, Welcome. Congratulations, Welcome. We love you.
You've earned every bit of this.
Mr. Chairman, congratulations on behalf of all of your Cougars for this wonderful Trailblazer Award.